How's it, everyone? Wayne the Known here, and welcome back to another episode of Cosplay Con Talk, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay community and conventions. I am joined once again by Chris, for who you may remember when we were doing a convention discussion.
Wayne.
Oh, what? Uh-oh. I think we have some technical difficulties, everyone. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. There were some technical difficulties. As I was saying, I'm joined here again by Chris, who you may remember from when we were talking about the Sundial Bridge Comic Con last year and the convention discussion this year. We are going to be doing a quick recap from last year and also discussing what you can expect to see this year for the 2023 year. Again, Chris, welcome back.
Hey, thanks for having me again. I was excited when you messaged me and wanted to do another interview. So
Yeah, I
cool.
mean, when I saw who you were getting this year, it's like, oh, we got to talk about that.
Yeah. I have a big lineup. Well,
You
good
got a
for
you got like a big anime voice actor guest too. Sean freaking
yeah,
Shin, the voice of Goku from Dragon
right.
Ball
Yeah,
Z.
he's coming this year. We got a big lineup, and it's big for our area, I should say. Um,
Hmm,
we got Sean Shamel, like you said, and he voices Goku for the past like roughly 10 years.
yeah.
Um, And then we have Edward Furlong from Terminator 2, the kid that was in Terminator 2. He was in American History X and Detroit Rock City, some of the movies he was in. And then we have Cesar Garcia, and he was in Fast and the Furious. He's been in Better Call Saul, um, episodes of, uh,
Like Breaking
drama,
Bad.
a lot of
Uh,
drama stuff.
yeah, I mean, we'll get into that. We'll get into that here shortly. I want to talk about last year. How did last year go?
Last year we did a one day show, and that was because we were coming off COVID. Um, and to tell you the truth, it was probably the best year I've had. Um, magically, I guess not magically. I think everybody was tired of being home, and everybody wanted something to do. Our area is starved for comics, also because we don't have a comic book store in our area.
Really? I thought there was one in Reading.
No,
I mean,
still
well,
nothing.
there should be. I mean, you got like, you got your game stores and all that. You got the mall, and you
Yeah,
think at least, Reading would like, hey, maybe we should have a comic book store. It's Reading. It's a pretty decent sized town. You got a lot of big downtown areas. You got that downtown shopping center area. I can't remember where, but there's like
yeah.
there's places, empty buildings that could make a good comic book shop in Reading.
Yeah, Reading's they got the toys covered. They got plenty of toy stores, but we're
They got the video games and everything.
right. Video games good. Here we're just missing a comic book store. Um, so as I was saying, the area is kind of starved for that, and we ended up having the best year so far. Especially we only did it one day, and probably had 2,500 people come through the doors.
I mean, given the space you guys have too, I mean, with this being a 2-day con, you may get just slightly more.
Oh yeah. With last year, and not that he wasn't huge, but we had one actor, and that was Brian Prince, who played the Predator.
I mean, that's
Um,
just, I mean, he just got done, I think, what doing um Metal Art Comic Con just prior to that
right.
same year.
So he did really well also while he was there. And this lineup blows our lineup out of the water.
I mean, you got a 2-day con. I mean,
Right.
given that it's a 2-day con, COVID is, I mean, it's not fully over, but it's like over enough to where, you can do a lot more because I know you plan on having a cosplay contest this year as well.
Right. Yeah, we do that. We plan on having pretty much a full schedule. Our problem is space. I always need more space, and especially with what we got coming actor wise, I think things are going to be a bit tight and long lines.
Oh,
Um,
I mean, just for an example, this year when I went to Adam Medford, they had Peter Columbus, the Ocean Dove voice of Goku, and his line was pretty decent. It was pretty decent. Like it wasn't easy trying to get an interview with him. I had to like wait till like the con was almost over to get with him because his line was just busy all damn day
Yeah,
on the
that's
first
pretty
day.
much what I'm expecting. uh, it hopefully I can get those guys lunch. Is what hopefully that's
Oh,
how
oh
busy
yeah, yeah. No, they're
they're
like
gonna be.
Sean. I feel like Sean's gonna be the busiest again, voicing Goku for over 20 years, if nearly 20 years.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm super happy he agreed to come. It's huge.
Yeah, how did you get someone as big as him? Because he's like, again, he's well known in the anime world.
Actually, to tell you the truth, I went to Rose City Comic Con last year up in Medford, or not up in Medford, up in Portland, and I got in line and talked to him, and he was actually supposed to come to my Comic Con the year before that, which we canceled for COVID. So we met face to face, and he was like, "If you book me, I'll come."
And
So
that's a pretty decent start to get for Reading. I mean, I know Reading's super well known, but like,
yeah, yeah. So he gave me the info, to talk to his people, and I booked him, and he's coming.
man, that's pretty cool that you're getting Sean Schimmel, and
Yeah,
you're also getting the other the guy who played in like Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and a few other movies too. I mean, I know he goes to cons every now and again, so it's pretty cool to get him as well. A well-known actor like from like the 90s to early 2000s.
right. Well known, and then he did one of the biggest blockbuster movies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Was
Hmm.
was pretty much his first movie.
So his
Uh,
line may be packed too.
yeah, I think he's going to be pretty busy.
And just with I know like the space is pretty decent. Like you can have like birthday parties, wedding receptions, and everything. It's a pretty big space, but like I know like we were talking last year how you're wanting to eventually get the Reading Convention Center because it would fit the name Sundial Bridge Comic Con because literally there's the Sundial Bridge is like right next to the convention center and all that.
Yeah, I actually lost you again there. You froze on me,
Oh,
so I missed a little bit of it. But I think you were asking about trying to get to the convention center,
yeah,
correct?
yeah, yeah. Because it has,
So
Sundial Bridge is in the name, and then you got the Sundial Bridge literally right next to the
right,
convention. Well, I wouldn't say walking distance, maybe like a short driving distance because
it actually is. It's probably it's less than a quarter mile. You
I mean,
know,
if someone's willing to walk to the bridge to take pictures of their cosplays, I mean,
yeah, yeah. There's plenty of spots there, but yeah. So if this year goes good, we will be there next year as long as the dates line up that they don't have anything going the weekend that we're going to have it, which I would hope it would be the same
I
week,
can't think of any events that would be going on in October.
right? So it's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. I'm putting that in the air, but I really do think it's going to happen this next year.
I mean, if it does, like I said, either way, I'll be down there.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah, and
I want to add Sundial Bridge Comic Con to the convention showcase to show people, hey, there's this convention in Reading. You definitely got to check out.
oh yeah, for sure. And if I'm able to get the convention center next year, it's gonna be huge. I'm gonna do it right, and we
I
will have
mean,
a ton of people there.
this con itself has grown from what you said you did it at the fairgrounds to what another hotel prior to the Red Lion.
Yeah, the first year was at the Holiday Inn, and then the fairgrounds, and then back to the Red Lion. And we definitely have grown every year.
And you started what? What year did you start in again?
Oh, that was 2017 now, and then obviously a couple years off because of COVID.
Oh, yeah. And you're so as far as I know, you're the only like Comic Con convention type con in Reading. I have never heard any other convention until I was told about this so a few years back.
Yeah, I am the only convention, and I am the only convention from Medford to Chico. I think I heard Chico might be doing something this year, but I don't know, and I haven't seen anything since what I've heard.
I haven't
But
seen or heard anything, and I
if, if
usually,
that's if that's the case, then I'm pretty much the Comic Con from Medford to Sacramento. So,
yeah, because you got a lot. You got Stockton Con, Sac Anime.
oh
Here
yeah,
you got Metal Arc and a Medford Row
right.
Comic Con next year here up in Medford.
Oh, there's one in Klamath Falls
Oh
now.
yeah, KCC. Oh yeah, KCC
Yeah.
Comic Con.
So
But other than that, I mean, just in that like that few hour driving distance, I can't think of any other. I've never heard of any other convention in Reading. So the fact that you're like the first convention to be in Reading, because Reading needs that kind of thing. Reading's a decent sized city.
right. Well, not only that, I, I'm the first, and it's not easy to put on a Comic Con. So even if somebody starts one, it's going to take a while for it to build up.
Oh, I agree. I mean, that's how it was with Metal Arc. I mean, and Animate for too. They started in a small space and now they got like probably one of the biggest buildings you can have a convention at here in Medford. And that's how it was with you guys to eventually where you can eventually hope to get the Reading Convention Center. No, that's not I know the convention center alone is not cheap.
Right, right. Well, to go ahead and break a little news while I'm here and while we're
Mm.
talking about it,
Oh yeah,
um,
do a convention discussion exclusive, a podcast exclusive.
I am going to have Reading Anime in 2024. So,
What?
yeah. So if you think getting this voice actor is huge, I already have and have talked to um, as big and more people as big. So,
Red anime. Oh, so is we called Reading Anime something?
yep, Reading Anime, that right there.
Oh,
So it'll
so
be a 1 day show.
well, I mean, yeah, it's good to start off one day to see what it's
Right.
like. Start it out, do it one day for a year or two, see if people like it. If not, and if they like it, move it to 2 days.
Wayne, you froze on me again. I don't know.
Oh,
Oh, okay, there you go.
oh.
You're back.
So as I was saying, Reading Anime, like you said, started off one day. If it goes well, eventually do it like have like a 2 day.
Right, exactly. Start 1 day, and I'm not going to give the date yet because not everything's
It's
set in
still
stone.
it's still like the ink is still wet kind of
Right,
to
but
say.
it's gonna happen, and it'll be early in the year, somewhat early, not too crazy early, but
Oh yeah,
early.
I mean, well, in like late December, early January, you got SAC anime going on in Sacramento.
Yeah, no, no, it's too cold over here for that. Uh,
And plus
it's gonna be a little later,
plus a good chunk of people who like going to conventions will be over there.
right? It'll be a little later than that, but yeah, it's in the works, and it's gonna happen, and I'm gonna start with a bang.
I
So
mean, I may have I don't I mean I can only go down to Reading once next year, but like 2025, I may go down to Reading anime in 2025.
yeah, yeah.
Because
Well,
I need to go down to more California conventions because I've only ever been to two so far. That was SacCon and Sac Anime. I would love to go to like you know this convention you're having now and the Reading one because I lived Reading's in Reading. I lived in Reading a good chunk of my childhood, so to see that there's this stuff going on down there, it's like okay, this may give me reason to go visit Reading.
right. Yeah, definitely come down. Come down, that's for sure.
So last year you said you had over 2,500 people.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah, 2,500. So
That's quite a bit, especially, again, given the size of the space you have at the Red Lion.
yeah, it was packed in there. At one point it was rough to get around.
Oh, I'll bet. I mean, and if you can get the Reading Convention Center, that's more space, and then pending if they let you utilize the stage for the cosplay contest, because that's a pretty big stage too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We're gonna try to make it happen right. And I think I have some people behind me now that are going to help us get very large very fast.
Hey, as I've always say, it's good to have connections as long as you don't abuse those connections.
Right, right.
Man,
So
it's
we're
just
we're we're ready. We're ready to make the next steps. So
yeah. So I know we didn't really talk about this last time. So when you first had Sundial Bridge Comic Con, the first time the first year you had, if you can remember, what was the attendance like back then?
I think that first year around 1,500.
I think
Yeah,
just people were excited just to say just to find out, hey, there's a convention here in Reading finally.
right.
So
And that was a 2 day. So it was 1,500 between 2 days. So I was pretty happy with that. and that's why we kept going
For a
because of
day one, that's a lot. I mean, again, it's Reading. Reading's never had anything like this before.
right. So
And not everyone can afford the money or the trip to go to Sacramento all the time for their cons.
right, right. That's exactly it. We got to have something for us here. Um, it can't just be all surrounding us, and not everybody can drive, 2 or 3 hours to get to a Comic Con.
I mean, someone like me is gonna have to take a Greyhound to get down there, but it's worth it. And I know a lot of hotels that are nearby the Red Lion.
Right, and the Red Lion does a discount for us also for rooms. Um, so right, yeah, it's a good deal. It should be a good con, and I think we're gonna have a lot of people staying there with us.
I mean, get your breakfast and then just go straight to the con.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
Nice. So, what are you projecting this year? Now that the con's back to a 2 day, and you have all these special guests, like what are you projecting this year for attendance?
Definitely, it's definitely the I'll call it the Sean Schemmel effect. I'm really projecting 4 to 5 thousand people this year between the 2 days. Um,
Yeah, you're definitely gonna need the Reading Convention Center.
yeah, yeah. If I get those numbers, we will definitely be in a larger space next year.
And if I'm not mistaken, the Reading Convention Center is a 3-story place.
I think it's at least two. It's at least two. I know that.
I haven't been to that building in a while. So, what else are people gonna be should be looking forward to this year, for the 2023?
Uh, you
Uh,
know, because of Sean Schemmel really, and because of Edward Furlong we got coming, I actually have to use a lot of my space I would use for panels and stuff for them to house them, or not to house them, but to put them somewhere so they can sign because I couldn't put them in our convention area. So we're going to have very limited panels this year. We will be doing a costume contest Sunday afternoon, as usual. Um, but we will probably have very limited panels, and if they are, it'll be first thing in the morning or probably the last thing in the afternoon before we close down. That way, we can convert the signing area into seating and
oh yeah,
workouts and all that.
yeah. I mean, having it's fairly common having a cosplay contest the last day of the con.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah. We're definitely having one. Um,
Nice.
So we'll see. I don't know how that's going to go. We haven't had one in a while, so I don't know if we're going to have a lot of people show up for it or not.
Well, if you're wanting someone to host the cosplay like MC the cosplay contest, I'd be more than happy to if you haven't found someone for next year.
Yeah, definitely. Always looking for somebody to help out,
I
especially
mean,
with the panels and cosplay and all that. Definitely could use help.
I know some cosplay guests. I don't know if how many would be willing to come down there, but I can, for when it comes to next year or even this year, I can, share your guys' Instagram and everything and let do you guys have any cosplay? Are you looking for cosplay guests this year or next year?
Probably not this year because of still space being limited. But next year, if we can get, like I said, in that bigger space, we'll definitely be able to have featured cosplayers.
All right, I can help spread the word on that too. I know a few cosplayers who may be interested.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Nice.
Great.
You guys get any comic book artists again this year?
Yep, we have our staples, which we always have, which is
Chris
Chris
Marinan.
Marinan and Walden Wong. Um, those guys are they
they're
never say no to me. It's
they're pretty much your go-to comic book guests.
right, and I love having them, and they are always welcome. And Walden will be doing our exclusive print this year of probably Goku. Um, and I will be getting it on holographic paper printed on. So it should look pretty cool. Um, and then we have Steve Englehart coming this year. And he is the co creator of Star Lord, Shang-Chi, Mantis, and a whole bunch of other characters. So we have a creator coming, a big time creator, especially, co creating Star Lord with all the movies and everything
Yeah,
out.
You got Alan Carnes coming back.
Right.
Kenny,
Alan's another staple.
Kenny, I'm never trying to pronounce that.
Aiken, yeah, he's
Yeah,
coming back. He's another staple.
Meriden, Holding Wong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so how were you able to get a hold of Edward Furlong?
I have probably 20 different talent agencies I can choose from. And I say choose because most of them have a list of talent, whether that be an actor, a voice actor,
Not to mention,
visual,
the
visual
cost. It would
effects.
not to mention the cost it would get just to get that specific special guest down.
Right. So I have a lot to choose from, and so I kind of get to just kind of browse actors and people, and you email their people and see if they're open to coming, and if they want to come, and if they will. That's what happened. I was like, you know what? It'd be cool to have Edward Furlong. That kid was in Terminator 2. You know, obviously he's a grown up now, roughly my
Tom and
age.
Jerry, Teenage Ninja Turtles, Batman, DC Superhero Girl, Scooby Doo, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
reading off Sean Schemmel's list.
Oh no, I'm definitely gonna be sharing the post as well about this on my Instagram to let people know. August 14th through the 15th. That's not a bad time either.
October 14th, 15th.
October, my bad.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
brain is oh yeah, no. So if you don't mind me asking if you're able, how much did it cost to get hold of Sean Schemmel? Because I know he's pretty up there with some other iconic voice actors.
I'll just say it's in the double digits to get him here. Thousands. I'm sorry. Uh,
I mean, I
yeah.
remember trying to get like interview Stephanie Aldoni. Worth it though. It's definitely it's not cheap because you're paying for their time, and that's not always going to be cheap either.
No, it's not cheap, and I I I'm more than happy to have him, and hopefully the public pays for his guarantees and all his money, and I don't have to come out of pocket or out of the Comic Con, because if I can do that, then I have more money towards getting into a larger space next year.
And the
Uh,
Reading Convention Center is a pretty large space. I can't think of any other
yeah,
bigger space in Reading aside from that.
right. So yeah, it's expensive to get these guys. They get their guarantees, they get their flights, they get their hotels, they get their meals, per diem. It all adds up, and then you want to treat them right, so they have a good experience.
They may want to come back next year,
Right? They may want to come back next year, or they may tell their agent and be like, "Look, this is a great con. They treat you right here, even though it's not a big con." Which in the future would lead to better, bigger people,
I
hopefully.
mean, the more well known you are and the bigger you are, that's a chance of getting, slightly big name guests. Not like your triple A guests like Chris Pratt,
Right,
Evans, and stuff like
right,
that, but like,
right,
you know, people who are still like well known, like, yeah, I want to come down and check this out, be a guest, blah blah blah, kind of type of thing.
right. Yeah, we definitely want to make it nice for them.
Oh, I mean, roll out the red carpet for that
Oh
one.
yeah, yeah. You got to, yeah, you have to. So
Yeah,
we treat all our special guests real nice here, and I've heard that from them that they enjoy coming here. So
nice. I think this would be
they
probably
do well.
This would probably be Sean Schimmel's also first time coming down to Reading as well.
No, he was actually in the area 5 to 7 years ago. He came for a signing. It was a very small signing. So, but yeah, he has not been, or none of these guys have been in this area ever. So,
Nice.
besides Sean that one time.
So I know it's still a year away, but do you plan on keeping the Sundial Bridge Comic Con in the October month, right?
Yeah, I would really like to keep it here around, the Halloween time. Not only I can kind of include that with the Comic Con, the Halloween and the horror aspect, but it's just a good time for costumes and getting dressed up. So why not, especially if you're doing cosplay, or you got a costume already for your Halloween, why not throw it on and come down and join us for the the Comic Con.
Why not? I mean, it's worth it. I'm definitely myself looking forward to finally going down next year for this
Yeah,
because after like I was told about it, I couldn't go the year before. I can't go this year because I got other cons I'm in the midst of going to and doing what I do for them. But yeah. Anything else you want to add in real quick about Sundial Bridge Comic Con for this year that people should be looking forward to?
yeah. I mean, I just come down, just give it a try. If you haven't yet, give us a try. The hotel's offering discounts if you want to come down and spend the night if you're going to travel.
What are the
And
discounts?
I think it's like 135 a night. And I think I think that's at least 10 to 15% off regular price.
130, so roughly $300.
Yeah, if you wanted to do two nights,
Pinning if someone wants to, because I know some people like arriving the day before the con. Someone like me, I probably would. I like trying to get, when it comes to traveling to cons that are far away, I like usually trying to get like there a day before the con so I can like relax, get my bearings, and then like, okay,
right?
I'm ready,
Oh yeah,
awake, and I can do
right.
this the next day.
Yeah, and there's roughly 10 major restaurants within probably 2, 3 blocks of this hotel, and a lot of them are directly across the street.
Oh,
Uh,
that's right. I look that up real quick.
so it's a great place to have the con. It's a great place, if you want to go to the con and get some lunch. It's really ideal spot.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
or you want to go to the con and stay there all night and then get a late dinner. Uh,
Oh
we're
yeah, I
right there in
mean,
the
oh
center
yeah,
of town.
you're like, yeah, okay, I know where this place is at. It's not that far from Applebee's. Okay, nice. Oh, froze again. So it looks like there were some technical difficulties on Chris's end. So I will let you all know where you can find them on Instagram and Facebook. You can find them at Sundial Bridge Comic Con on Instagram, Sundial Bridge Comic Con on Facebook. Their con is October 14th through the 15th. Entry is $12 per person. Tril- Children and kid children and under get them for free with the paying adult. Again, that is October 14th to the 15th at the Red Line Inn on 1830 Hilltop Drive, Redding, California. That should about do it. As always, I'm Wayne the Unknown. Until next time, thank you for listening, and as always, thank you for watching.